On today, we're gonna lock in on mental health, and we ain't gonna be long. We're gonna keep it nice and simple. But one thing we're gonna know that everything in this world is holistic, no matter what it is. So when you talk about one thing, it always connect back to the next. So when dealing with mental health, I tell people that I approach mental health. Maybe I was talking, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? Yesterday. I approach mental health from an indirect way, meaning that I tell people if you were strong enough to control your mind, you wouldn't even have to be in that situation in the first place. So the fact that you're in that situation shows that there's a conflict within yourself. And a lot of times people try to talk to the mind to control the mind. But what you do is, when I say indirectly, anything in life that you cultivate, something naturally happens. Meaning that when you cultivate a good environment, when you cultivate good soil, things naturally grow well. When you cultivate good air, breathing naturally comes well. So same thing with meditating. When you cultivate a good life, meditation comes naturally. You don't have to try to do these things. These things all come naturally. So when it comes to mental health, you can address mental health by eating right, by exercise, by rest. All these things, accumulative things on the side, you can take as a step to mental health. You can use your body as the base, as the foundation. So you say, you know what, even though I know my mind is running, I'm gonna start with the body. I'm gonna take me a good shower. I'm gonna brush my teeth and clean my mouth out and wash my face and put some good deodorant on and spray some. I'm gonna smell good. I'm gonna clean my room up. I'm gonna eat a meal that has the right nutrients in it. All this builds up good mental health, because no matter how good you try to think, if you ain't got the right hormones and the right neutrons clicking up top in the brain, it's not gonna work. If you're not eating the right food and being healthy, it's gonna be hard for mental health to come along. Yeah, so a lot of us think of mental health as just about their mind, but yet they're lacking their eating habits, their physical habits, their breathing. It's a full circle. Yeah. So when we talk about depression, first I address some basic needs. Are you eating right? Are you taking care of your body? Do you have a safe place to stay?
Do you feel safe?
Do you feel safe? Yes. Yes. And another thing, it gets even deeper. What throw people off with mental health is that they think they are the mind.
You think they what?
Are the mind.
Yeah.
If you think you're the mind, you're trying to control something that you can't because you think that's you. And then you think you're lost. And you know how hard it is to find yourself because you're never lost. When somebody say lost, they're really just blind. Because you can't lose yourself, because you are yourself in every aspect, no matter if it's good or bad, no matter what range you find yourself at, you are you. You might not like what you see at that moment, but you're still you. I'm not me today. Yes, you are. You're you every single day, all day long, 24 hours, you're you. But you don't accept that. You only accept the good things you see about yourself.
You got to remember the goodness and the power that you have instead of something that's wrong.
Yeah. I'll get him. Yeah, but even if something is wrong, what's wrong with something being wrong? It's still human.
It's still human.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't always have to be right. Yeah. And that's what mental health sometimes gets you at, because I'm not feeling good. You don't have to. Things don't have to feel good to be right, and that's when we get a little confused.
I like that. I love that.
You see what I'm saying now?
Like when you go through an illness or sickness, that's your body working correctly.
No. So back to mental health. You can approach mental health from different angles. And anybody remember what he was saying to catch him back in there?
You were saying when you get sick, your body, that's
a
natural response.
Yeah, so like the natural, yeah. So like
what's natural,
yeah,
to be perfect. Good,
yeah,
good.
Yeah. I heard someone speak on saying that like having certain illnesses wasn't natural or whatever, but really that's the body, that's the immune system doing what it needs to do to reestablish the order inside the body. Like, you know, when you ill, you have mucous membranes that have been compromised. So your body sends all type of white blood cells and sends things to help to get things back in order. You know, so you may have mucus, you may have a cough, you may have some type of pain or whatever, but that's weakness leaving the body. And when those things leave the body, and you do it the correct healing way, then what you left with is that health. You know, that goodness, and that but it didn't mean that you weren't healthy when you were sick. It's just that you had to remove the things that was, I guess, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you like when I stayed at a homeless shelter or whatever, it was a lot of sick people in there or whatever. If I didn't have a strong immune system, I would have caught COVID. I would have caught the things that they had. You know what I'm saying? But since I had a high immune system, I would just like I would kind of like feel the energy of where I was, and it would kind of like it would kind of just like pass through me instead of like really like making me sick. And that let me know that my body was in order. You know, so my like yeah, I was naturally my natural the natural process that my body used to detoxify itself. It was going through that. It was working how it was supposed to. Even though I might have had a cough or
But
yeah.
even with being sick, it's still a natural part of life.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying now? So even if you are still sick, it's a cycle.
It builds a resistance for the next time you get exposed
Yeah.
to it.
So it's go ahead. So it's okay, isn't it?
It's a process that you're saying. Some people might get upset with the singular point of I'm not well right now, but it's still that it's temporary. You're going to return to
There you
wellness.
go.
So how you observing that low point so you can understand how to mitigate avoiding that next time. Maybe I need to get some oranges in as I'm feeling the same things I was feeling before it got bad. Now you know to start doing things preventative. That's with mental health too, though. Sometimes we don't. We in reclaiming mental health. Mental health is a practice that was deeply ancestral to our people, right? Observing the mind, understanding what's in our environment and how it influences our bodies. They was making beer in ancient Africa with probiotic stuff in it. So your body was becoming immune as you drinking beer because it has some microbiotic stuff in there. But this is just from being in nature and observing what does work and what don't work.
And right. Say it again. It's about
From being in nature and observing what does work and what don't work.
Observing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to stick with that. No, you hold on to it for a second. I want to stick with that with observing.
Mm-hmm.
That's another. Remember I said a lot of people think of the mind. How do you separate yourself from the mind? By becoming an observer.
Right.
And that's with anything in nature. And a lot of times they teach us that, just because you thought about it, it's a sin. Do you know if you sit back and become an observer, things naturally disappear? It's when you give it attention and feed it, it grows. Yeah. So if a bad thought comes in your mind, you get depressed because you had a bad thought. Or you can come to a doer and say, you know what? I see that bad thought and I'm aware of it. Yeah. But I'm not my thoughts.
Because you're not your mind.
You're
not attached to the thought itself. You're like, I'm experiencing it. I see it, and now it's passing.
Anything that you can experience cannot be your true essence. It can't.
You want to say?
Yeah.
Anything that you can experience, it has to be an attachment to you. Yeah. It can't be your true essence because your essence is experiencing it. Mm-hmm. If your mind is talking, you experience your mind. Your mind cannot be your true essence because you are the observer. Yeah. And everything is being observed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the same thing. Like when you're observing something, you're viewing it from a higher perspective. So that kind of goes like when people talk about you being seated in higher places, it's because you're observing from like a higher level of consciousness. Whereas if you're judging something, that becomes like you in it, right, wrong, good, bad. And then everything in life becomes right or wrong, good or bad, instead of the flow of observation. So, but that's what life is. It's like if everything were just nothing, no good or bad, then we wouldn't be experiencing anything. But life is tension and resolution because it's all like a string being plugged, like vibration.
That is beautiful. I like that. Hey, can I get that brother a clap on that one? I like that. And think about it. That's how bridges are made. Tension and tension and compression is those two forces they use to keep a bridge up. And when you balance those two forces out, a bridge becomes stable. Yeah, that was beautiful, my brother. And he talked about something really important. He talked about observing it from a higher perspective. You both can be both seated in the same space, but coming from a different perspective. Right. Yeah. All day long. Yeah. And I ran into a big mistake of mine that I talk about with everybody else. I ran into the mistake of saying, I feel lost. And I should have known better than to say something like that. I feel lost. Because I tell people all the time, you can't lose something that you already have. I stopped becoming aware is what happened. And when you stop becoming aware, you get this lost feeling. But you are always there. And you are always you. In the bad or good, it doesn't matter. So in this whole thing, I want you to remember, when it comes to mental health, it can be approached in different ways, but the easiest way is an indirect approach. Cultivating a good environment for yourself. And then from that good environment, you take more steps to go deeper and deeper and deeper to understanding who you are as yourself. And then you start realizing, I am not the mind. First start off, you know what? My body's taken care of. My mental health, my body's good. I'm eating. I'm safe. Now I'm moving on. Oh, you know what? These thoughts are not me. It's deeper. And that leads, I'm gonna end it with this. That leads to meditation. I don't look at meditation as something you can sit down and just do. Sit down and meditate. I see meditation the same thing. It's something you cultivate. When your life is, everything lines up right, it's an automatic. It just comes. It's not when you're just sitting down. Your life becomes that meditation. And that meditation is when you can start perceiving things from a higher perspective. You become aware. So I appreciate that, fellas. We're going to get started. That was our mental health for the beginning. And we're going to get into the yoga session part. And I'd like to end it also on this. What helped me change my perspective is when I went to see my uncle Muji in Portugal. He had 90 acres of land there and a whole self-sufficient city run. But when I got there and I saw how he started off in almost like a tent, a cabin that had no roof, like a tent over it. And they was sitting out there by themselves, just doing the right thing. And people showed up. He didn't try to make this big mansion. He didn't try to go out. He just did the right thing and became present, and the people came. And that's what, cultivated the environment. And when I came home back to the States, that's what you've been to my backyard, right? You've been to my backyard. He's been to my backyard. I literally copied the same aspect. I said, I'm going to cultivate that environment wherever I go so I can keep myself in a certain spiritual state. So when you walk into my house, no matter if it's small, a shack, or a mansion, I cultivate a certain environment. So when you get home, I don't care what you call home, cultivate a certain environment.
I want to add to that. I just saw a post saying a lot of us don't really live in
the spaces we have our beds at. Some of our houses look like storage houses because we might have had a history where we didn't have a stable home to live in. So when you find a place, we don't realize that it might look like a storage room because it ain't no natural, it ain't the style, it ain't the personality in there because you're ready to kind of leave as you're sitting in there. So we never really sit and ground and be somewhere because we always thinking about the what if. Without even thinking about it, we thinking about the, well, I might leave, I might not pay the rent. I might have to leave. You see what I'm saying? It's like survival in the past that can still inform not being able to find meditation in life. So I wanted to speak to that. Like cooking can be a meditation. Going to find a hula hoop can be a meditation. Skateboarding, learning the thing that you want to do as a child, but you didn't do, that can be a new meditation.
Being present in it.
We sometimes, in reclaiming meditation, we only look at it. Sometimes it's sitting down. You got to control your mind to be on nothing. That's the biggest limitation. Rather than exploring your mind, building a relationship with your body, building a relationship with the space you're in. I believe when I'm in a rut, bro, literally rechanging and reformatting like the way my couch is in my living room, where lights are, it literally changes the entire space, bro. It's called feng shui. So I was gonna get at it. But other cultures understand this.
They understand this.
It's a part of their way of doing things. You walk in any one of their houses, everybody got a different arrangement because that's exactly what their energy signature wanted to be. We getting it back. And he's talking about it. It don't even gotta be the mansion though. It ain't gotta be the gold trim, the luxe, this and that, the marble floors. It can be the tent, bro, with the right energy in there, the right sounds, the right smell, and you taking somebody to Himalayas.
I'm in a gazebo, and I feel like I'm in the middle of the Garden of Eden.
Exactly. It's the mind.
And just to get on that, I have a saying that I came up with called the inner journey. I said the inner journey is a journey from yourself back to your true self, from God back to God, meaning that back to awareness. When you was a kid playing and you was living life, you didn't ask about heaven or hell. You didn't worry about none of that. You was pure awareness, aware right here and right now. It wasn't until society started teaching you these things that you started having doubts and all these other kind of weird questions and feel lost. And felt lost. Yep. Now you need to find yourself. You see?
So you was already rich.
Say it in the mic real quick. I'm sorry. Say it in the mic real quick.
That was hard.
I said you end up going through situations where you lose yourself when you came into the world already knowing yourself.
Already knowing yourself.
So it seems like we feel like we waking up, but no, it's a remembering. We're remembering what we already innately came to this planet with.
Yes, my brother. And I appreciate y'all all understanding that. And this is one. I keep saying I'm gonna leave it, but this is the last one right here. And this gonna be for Malik because Malik was with me yesterday. I got a small little city I'm building in my backyard. It's a pond. I'm building a Lego city with it of how I think the world should look. But long story short, I want to build a meditation place to sit in, and we're gonna build a pyramid. So what I did was I found out exactly what were the slopes and the measurements of the Pyramid of Giza, and I scaled it down to 1/70th because I want the geometry to stay the same because it's the golden ratio. So I did not want to build a meditation without the golden ratio because the golden ratio imitates life. So in this book, it shows all the temples around the world, how they built these temples off the golden ratio. So from now on, when I build anything in my backyard, even my ponds, everything, I'm going to do it all off golden ratio because the golden ratio imitates life.
So when you say the golden ratio, I think people are visual learners, right? What would you initially say that is?
The golden ratio is perfect proportion. Everything in life grows in perfect proportion. When you look at seeds, when you look at plants, when you look at trees, they all follow a certain numerical order. You can count the leaves on a leaf, and it grows in a certain from 1, 2 to 3 to 5. That's why they say a 4-leaf clover is lucky because nature don't grow like that. It's the reason why they say that. You see,
it's rare. Right.
It's rare. So it's proportion. If you look at step pyramids, it doubles in proportion as it gets taller or as it gets smaller. From the top to the bottom, it doubles in proportion each time. This is visually pleasing to the eye. The way your hands are done, all those things. What's his name? Give me the artist who drew the Mona Lisa. Da Vinci. That's why he was so famous. He used the golden ratio in all his art. So it becomes aesthetically pleasing to you naturally without knowing because nature automatically draws in that way. So without you knowing, even a credit card is actually a golden ratio. It looks, yes, brother.
The concept and
even logos, companies make logos that way because it's visually, and you don't know why you like it. It draws you because it's innate. It's in your nature.
I'll add to that. Certain things I think, like the top of an acorn, or you looking at
a sunflower seed, all of it.
Yeah, like honeybee comb. Like these things are designed.
A snail,
the snail, the spiral,
a wave. Nothing is a perfect circle. It's all a spiral. Even when you're in your hair and you flick it up, it comes out. It spirals out. Yeah, a ram.
It is a wave.
Like the universe. Like,
if
you look at the cosmos.
Yes. This is all nature. So when you make art, you can literally, the pyramid, I'm sorry we're going on a tangent, but the pyramid is literally made in perfect ratios that mimic nature.
Mimic nature, right.
So it's aesthetically pleasing. You don't even know why you love it. So if you can take your house and make your house a sanctuary and use these perfect ratios that imitate nature because you and nature are one as above as below, now you're really becoming one because you're using the language of God. You feel me?
That's hard.
So we're going to end it on that, my brothers.
What's the name of the city?
The city?
In the backyard.
What's the name of it again?
Manitou Bay.
Manitou
you want to
Bay.
explain the name of it?
I know what's weird about Manitou Bay? I made it up and then looked it up, and it was actually a Native American name of up north by the water. I said, oh my gosh, it was a spiritual name from Native Americans up north. Synchronicity.
It was already in you.
Right. Yeah, so we finna get started today. I thank y'all brothers for joining in on that, and I appreciate everything.